So I'm going to start with audio. Actually import something, you have to open a bin first because you cannot import directly into this project. If I close this bin, I do not have an import option. If I open the bin, but I make the project window the active window, I do not have an import option. Make sense? You have to import it into the bin. Now I'll go File, Import. If you forget where these options are, don't forget you can always right-click in the general area where you want to do something. I'd like to right-click on this bin. Oh, look, there's Import. Then the Import dialog pops up. Now, among the options that you must set in this window are the drive that you're going to write your stuff onto. But you don't have to set this because you just did in media creation settings. So this is preset. But notice I could, at the point of import, change my mind. How about resolution? Well, this was preset in media creation settings, so I get to ignore it. I like that. I like thinking, hey, I don't have to think about that. Then when you click Options, there's that import dialog I showed you earlier. Now in this case, I want to import some audio. So I'm just going to look at my audio options. You're going to leave almost everything at default. The only other option you might want to choose is convert source bit depth to project bit depth. So that means if you bring in something that's from a CD, it's 44.1 kilohertz, 16-bit. It's going to want to convert it to the project bit depth and bit rate. In this case, we're talking bit depth. Okay. Also, you may want to apply attenuation, is just a highfalutin term for lowering audio levels. Boost is higher, attenuation is lower. If you don't want to blow out your eardrums, typing in -6 to bring the audio down 6 dB right on import is a great idea. Doesn't mean you can't boost it back up to 0 where it started later, but it saves your eardrums. If you want to check CD only, then audio you import from iTunes or disk will not have that attenuation applied. I can tell you from experience, I like that setting to be set on for any music I import, because all music is mixed at the very, very top of the digital scale. Your production audio may be different. All right, so you probably should check CD audio only or uncheck that box entirely, because chances are your audio will not need to be lowered. It'll probably need to be raised or boosted. All right, now there's literally nothing else to worry about if all I'm importing is audio right now. I clicked the Options button in the Import dialog. All right, it's like a back door. So now, what files do I want? I happen to have some sound effect samples here. You could select one or command click to select other items, or you could shift click to select a range. I'll just select a range, why not? And then when I click open, look how fast it creates MXF media. Boom, there they are. Each clip is now imported. I can play it, okay, and cut with it. All right, these files, all right, have some columns of information. That's what drive they're on. Okay, that's what sample rate they have, 48 kilohertz, and I could enable other columns of metadata or information to look at. Okay. If I load something in to a monitor and mark an in point, look, there's the mark in time code number. All right, let's see if I can make this a little more obvious. Then I'll go over here, mark an out point, and you're going to see, boom, there's that time code. Okay. Eventually, if I was like, oh, and that's supposed to be different time code. Oh, wait, see, let's try this again. 1000200. There we go. All right, so I was able to change that information. This is a lot like in Final Cut Pro. The columns of information in your bin can often tell you things that are very helpful to know about your files. All right, so if I wanted to import a graphic, it might be a good idea. Well, first of all, let's stay organized. I could call this audio bin, create a new bin, call it GFX for graphics. Again, I could right click on it to import. Okay, if I map a key, I could probably do that as well. Now in this case, I'm going to go to a different spot. All right, I happen to have some Tonight Show logos here. All right. And I can click options. Now I have some slightly different options that I need to deal with. Now in most cases, these defaults are what you want. Image sized for current format. What that means is the thing you're bringing in is already the same size as 1920 by 1080, which is your project raster. I happen to know that the things I'm bringing in are already 1920 by 1080, so I'll just say, look, it's sized already for the current format. If it's not, I want to resize the image to fit the format raster. That means it's going to stretch somewhat. Okay. In terms of file pixel to video mapping, usually you want this bottom option, which is your video standard, not your computer standard. All right, 709 HD. That basically sets the color values so that they are the proper sort of spectrum. All right. If you're going to bring in a still graphic, all right, a still has no duration. So Avid needs to generate frames to create a duration. What will that duration be? Usually I set this for 60 seconds or a minute. That way if I'm bringing in some bars for bars and tone or bringing in a still graphic, it'll be a minute long. Okay. Sorry, I needed to do import. Where do I have something that actually has? Okay, imports, motion graphics. There we go. This will do this correctly. Oh, hold on. This is not sized for the current format, but what the heck? I'm just going to open it anyway. Creating video fill from QuickTime. Then it's going to say creating alpha mat. There you go, alpha data. Then I'll have one clip. Now, just like those audio clips had two channels in them, left and right channel, this video clip has two channels in it. Okay. There we go. Wonderful. And let me import one more thing. Just a still image of some sort. How about... okay, I'm going to bring in this thing called ampule and package. See how these look. Not really. All I'm doing is choosing to import a file and navigating to it. All right, I'm about to show you what's going on with these though. This is not what this graphic is supposed to look like. Okay, and neither is that. It's stretched out. Okay, I'm going to try that one more time. Import. But say, look, it needs to be resized to fit the current format. Okay, let's try that one more time. Now I have totally different files, which are correct. Okay, correct dimension, incorrect dimension. Oh, sorry, not, there we go. All right, so again, to review what just happened there, this is part of my import settings that I can get at from the import dialog. Okay, but it's a very simple rule. If the graphic matches your frame size exactly, top option. If it does not, bottom option. These two only refer to standard definition video, so we can ignore them for right now. If you want to import regular video, again, I'll just do another bin so I can keep this organized. Drag the tab down to these windows so that they're all tabbed in the same general space. Same exact dialog applies to your video. It needs to either match or not match your current format. Now I'll just go find an actual movie. There we go. Now to get back to that question, while this is importing, All right. Do I have to go into this with complete ignorance? No, because the Macintosh desktop actually gives you a lot of options. So if I go here into this, where's the imports? There we go. Import, final movie. Notice I'm in column view. In column view, if you select a file, it'll actually tell you the frame size right down there in the Finder. If I open this in QuickTime Player, I can also find out some information about it. Okay, so I'll double click it, load it into QuickTime Player, and type Command I or Show Movie Inspector. Now I know it's Apple ProRes, it's 960 by 720. Okay, so this was a trick to save money kind of raster dimension. All right, so now I might know what choices to make in this dialog when the time comes, because I know what the actual size is. So what I was just showing you is that on the Finder level, you should establish what the size of your frames are first so that you know what you need to do to them. All right, this should be done any second now. And then we're going to have a full QuickTime movie that has now been converted to MXF. Okay, once again, if we look at Mini-G Avid Media Files, okay, even sort by date modified, here's the movie that just got created. Okay, it's got 3 files associated with it, probably video and 2 audio channels. When I open it, there we go. And it got distorted a little. Okay, or did it? Looks a little distorted to me. See, right click, project aspect ratio, 16 by 9. I can't really change that. All right, so I probably made a mistake with that one. All right, this you want to look at really carefully. So if you're dozing a little bit, please wake up. I'm going to select this clip, and then I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. And a dialog is going to appear. All right, do I just want to delete the master clip and leave the media on the drive? Not usually, but I might. Or do I want to just delete the media files but leave the clip? Yeah, I might want to. Maybe I want to redigitize it or recapture it at a different resolution. Or do I want to just delete everything? Do I want to only delete the audio or only delete the video? You know, these options are all here in this dialog, okay? But it will take you 2 steps to delete a media file. You can't accidentally delete a media file in the Avid any more than you do in Final Cut. Because again, the default is unchecked. I'll delete the clip and the media files. Heck, maybe I'll just delete the media file. No. Whoops. Did I select the clip also? That seems to have disappeared. Anyway, let's try. Yeah, I thought, okay, I did it backwards. Sorry. Let's try this again one more time. And then while it's importing, in the MXF folder now, okay, all of these files are Avid MXF media. All right, and they're organized for us. We don't have to worry about it.